Hello, this is Nancy L.T. Hamilton with another fabulous video, and today we're going to show you how to set up your torch, which is really exciting, and that involves putting the regulators on the tank and checking it. I have it settling, so we're going to be focusing on that, but most of the stuff that you're going to see will relate to whatever gas you're using, so we will get started on that. So the first thing I like to do is I get a little water. It's not much in there. And then I take some liquid soap and just kind of blob a bunch in there. And you don't want to froth it up. By the way, this is for testing for leaks. And I just stir it gently, try to keep the suds down. So this stuff, the Castile soap, is really good because it is a low sudsing soap. It's also not like really scary and doesn't have a bunch of weird chemicals in it. So it smells fabulous, like peppermint. So anyway, that's the first thing we're going to do, and fortunately, or not, I ordered 2 tanks from the gas supply company, and one of them leaks. So I get to show you what a leaking tank looks like, which is, after you mix your soap up, is the first thing you should do is check your tanks, because they do leak, and I will tell you a horror story in a minute. So here's my B acetylene tank. That's the size of it, is a B. Anyway, I've got my soap mixture and I'm gonna run it along. Now, do you see this right here? That's a leak. And this is why we test our tanks. Okay, see that big bubble? All this is not good. So I called them and they're gonna come pick this up. Do not leave it inside the house. If it leaks, don't put it in a garage, don't put it in your car, put it outside and take it to the gas place and get a new one. So I will tell you the horror story inside. So one little note, don't ever pick the thing that was leaking, don't ever pick your tank up by that stem. It's a great way to also make it leak. So the horror story, I went to the gas place to pick up buy a new tank, and there was a picture of this blown up car on his cash register, and I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Well, a woman that bought acetylene tanks for her husband, and she was going to bring it to his shop, and something happened and she ended up leaving it in the car overnight with the windows rolled up, and the next morning she went out to the car and hit her little unlock clicker and the whole car blew up. She had a leaky tank, contained space, created a bomb. So don't leave your tanks inside until you check. It's a really safe thing to do. It's also against the law to carry tanks in an enclosed vehicle, like a car or a van. You're supposed to use a truck or a gas delivery system, like a gas truck. So those are some really important things for your life and your vehicle and your home and everybody else. So okay, now we're going to go in the other room and do something I can't remember, but I'll find out and let you know. So it goes here. So on to seriousness, I hope. This is a key, and this is used to open the tank. It fits on the top there. Make sure you remove these before you return your tank, because everybody steals them from you. It's terrible. So right now we don't want it. I'm going to stick it over here. It comes usually with a little protective cap on it, and this I just use, I'm sure there's probably a good way to do it, but I just use brute force. You don't want to wreck your those things. Threads. Okay, so this tank I've already tested, but I'll just show you that it's fabulous. There's no bubbles coming out. Drip. I'll grab this. So this tank is okay to go. And the next thing I need to do is anchor this securely, especially here in California, IA. Some earthquakes, but the rest of you have earthquakes too, even Oklahoma. When you put this, I use a double chain system, one for the bottom and one for the top. And I want to keep my threads, especially in my setup, out this way so that I can attach my regulators and still be able to reach them. So make sure before you chain your tank in that you line your threads up in the right direction. Chain this up. Chain the beast. go. And then I'll put my key back on. Make sure I can actually get to that. So in case of an earthquake, this will be held in place. Okay, so we're going to move on to setting up the regulators. And I will be right back because I'm having a cramp. So this is my acetylene regulator. This side tells me how much pressure I have in my hose, and this shows me how much gas I've got in my tank. And as you know me, not a lot. You think you have menopause problems? Anyway, so we're going to, Sutter Girl is going to hook up her regulator to her tank, which is a serious business. And I use this big crescent wrench, which is the non-generic term for this. Adjustable spanner if you're from England. So it's righty tighty on this, and I'm going to hand tighten it down. By the way, never use that white, oh gosh, what's it called? You all going to say, it's called this. It's white, it's really stretchy tape, silicone tape? I can't remember the name of it. It's used in plumbing. Never use it on your joints. If you have a leak, you need to find out why you have a leak. Don't use tape. Oh, that fit. So, okay, so, and then I'm just going to hand tighten this down. I'm not going to, like, do it so hard that, you know, I break something in my body. So, put my key back on. So what we need to do is make sure that this thing is loose here. I can't remember what it's a valve regulator thingy. I'll have the actual term on my website, because if this is tightened down, it allows the gas to come through the line. Also check, make sure your torch is turned off, but you want this open so the gas only goes between here and the regulator, because what we're going to do now is check this join and these, here, can you see better, Lisa? And these joints for any leaking whatsoever, here, 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 here. I'm just going to cover this with stuff. So you want this open because we, like I said, we want it contained. So I'm going to, only acetylene tanks, you only open a quarter of a turn or so, because you want to be able to shut them off fast if there's an issue with backflash fire up of your line or anything else happens. Okay, so here I've got finally got this open. You need somebody strong. I'm getting frail in my old age. This shows me how much gas in my tank, and for this tank that's full, and I have no pressure over here because I have not turned down my thingy to let the gas flow. So what we need to do now is check for leaks. Take your soap mixture and drape it ever so gently on your joins. And a flashlight would come in handy here too. You want to make sure you don't see any bubbles. Now I do. Let's see, right in here there's some bubbles. So I need to tighten this down further. Okay, gas off. Move the key. Okay, I'm going to wipe it up and check it again. Turn on a quarter. Actually, I just turn it a little. I don't even know if that's a quarter. Let's see what happens again. Be patient with this. This is very important, okay? I can't really see the back of it, so I'm going to turn it and get up and walk around in a minute. First I'm going to check these other, even though this was already pre-hooked up. God, I feel like I swallowed that frog again. I want to double check to make sure that I don't have any problems. This actually looks really good. Made a bubble. You want to try not to make bubbles with the brush. So that looks like it's set. Oh, you know, yeah, I turned it on. Okay. If you forget if you've turned it on, you can just check here for your pressure. Okay, so now this is ready to tighten down. And one of the deals with acetylene in particular, see all these red lines here? Do not go past 15 psi because the gas polymerizes, clogs everything, it'll blow up, basically. So I usually go to 10 psi and leave it like that. If you need a little more gas, you can go a little higher, but never above 15. I'm too scared of 15, so stay down here. So that's basically turning on your tank. Now when you shut down at night, I will show you that procedure in one hair of a dog's butt. So Sada Girl is very happy. The first thing you need to do before you go to your little house or quit work for the day is to drain your tanks, your hose, not your tanks, drain your hoses. And you do that by doing basically the opposite of what we did before. The first thing we're going to do is shut the tank off. So just something I forgot to mention, which is important. You can tell if you have a leak one way is your pressure will start dropping for no reason. It will drop when you have the torch on because the gas is coming out. But if there's nothing moving, if the gas is contained within the hose and the regulator system, this should not move. So anyway, back to where we were. The first thing to do to close up for the night is to pull the key towards you and shut your tank off. Towards you is off, away from you is on. Then we're going to come up here and I'm going to show you what the next step is. Sada Girl's mom came and made me take off my beard. So anyway, what we need to do is get the gas out of the hose. So I'm going to turn my torch handle on and hopefully light it. And I'm going to wait until this has no gas left in it. The bigger the torch tip, the faster the gas drains. Okay, see that flashback? That's okay on this particular type of torch. So now we've drained the hose of gas. Don't forget to shut your torch off when you're done. And then the last and final thing that you do is to turn your regulators into the open position. Okay, so see our pressure is back down to 0 over here, and it's over 0 over here, and we're just going to open this up. And now you're shut down. You never want to leave this whole system on when you leave for the night. You can degrade the valves in here, and you don't want to do that. So let me babble on for a minute about a couple other things before we end this lovely video. If you work inside like most jewelers do, I spoke to the gas guy the other day. You don't really have to change your hoses or have your regulator serviced very often, maybe every 5 years or something. The hoses I would constantly check and watch that regulator to see if your pressure's dropping, because your hose is probably the most vulnerable of them all. And then another thing, once in a while your torch tip gets skunky or dirty in other people's language, and they sell these little weird things. I don't know if they're meant for them or not, but it says for drill number on the back, but they're like little pipe cleaners, and I just go in here and run it around, especially with acetylene. It's a dirty gas, and just kind of scrape off any crud. Sometimes when you light your torch, you'll get a weird kind of sound, and that can mean that there's a little moisture in here, or you've got a chunk of debris in here. So turn it off, clean it, and try it again and see if it happens. If it continues to happen, take it over to your gas supplier, and maybe you need to have your torch handles serviced. You know, if your equipment's brand new, you shouldn't have a lot of issues with it, but if you got it from great grandpa's barn, I would have it checked out before I actually used it. So Sada Girl has to go home because her mom wants her to. And take this, even though I'm being silly, take this seriously. This is your life, and it's not scary if you know what you're doing. Just be cautious. This is Nancy L.T. Hamilton saying adios.